Main event, Holly Holm against Ketlen Vieira. Holly Holm, of course, former champion. Ketlen Vieira is most definitely on her way up to the belt. The question around this one for me is whether Holly Holm's like smart and wise and experienced enough to not allow Ketlen Vieira to get this win over her. I can see Vieira winning fights against almost everybody in this division, but I feel like someone like a Holly Holm has got the skills and the experience to be, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Basically what she did against Irene Aldana.
Yeah.
Like moved away, side kicker, move away, side kicker, jabber, make loads of noise. Yeah. And just never let her get very close. Like the only other way I see it going is if Holly decides that she wants to grapple with Ketlen Vieira and hold her up against the fence, kind of like what she did against Raquel Pennington. I think Ketlen Vieira, if this fight went on forever and there was no rules or time limits or anything, I think Ketlen Vieira gets to her eventually. But I think over 25 minutes, this is what Holly Holm does.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. I think Holly's going to be smart enough to not stay in the range that Ketlen wants her to be in.
Yeah.
And just, if she can avoid that and pick her off, because she's quite like marching down, like she's quite tucked up. She's not very explosive. So if Holly's just in and out, like picking her off, and she can do that, like you said, over 25 minutes, I could just see it going like that.
Yeah.
Unless Ketlen just like rushes her and gets her to the ground, like the Zingano fight.
I mean, she has got good grappling, Vera.
Yeah.
She has got good grappling, but then she's also been nullified on the ground against Konitskaya. So I wouldn't put it past Holly Holm to be able to do that to her. I just don't think it'd be a very good use of energy for her. I think the smart thing for Holm to do, southpaw v orthodox, move away from her, keep her on the end of that side kick, and then try and walk her onto the head kick that she got, was it Betchko Hare? She knocked her out with that. I could see her working that, but then I feel like Ketlen Vieira is going to have better footwork than Aldana did. Like, Aldana did not want to, at any point, step across and cut her off and walk onto that high kick. So she never was able to control her. She always basically chased her in circles around the cage, didn't she? And that worked perfectly for Holm, because she's not going to step outside of herself. She's not going to take any risks that she don't need to take. Like, why would she? And, you know, at this point in her career, she's each individual fight. I mean, it's the same for everybody, but even more so, I think, when you're at Holly Holm's stage, when you've already been the champion. She's 40 years old now. You know what I mean? She's not fighting consistently either. I mean, her last fight was Irene Aldana. Like a couple of years has passed since then almost. That was October of 2020. She's not going to take any risks here.
No.
If Holly's smart, she's a smart fighter. She's a veteran and a champion. I think she's going to play this one very, very cautiously, and I think she's going to try and nullify Vieira over a decision and keep herself in line for a shot at the title. You know, especially now everything's shifted at the top of the division with Pena winning the belt. You could quite easily see Holly Holm stepping back in there and fighting her.
I think she is, like, despite, you know, the stage she's at in the career, she's 100% looking to get back to that, like, title shot contention.
Yeah.
And I think she's just too smart. Unless Ketlen, like, is as smart and, like, really cuts her off and, like, really closes that distance and really puts it on her. But yeah, like you said, I just think Holly's just too smart and wily to not get caught in that trap.
Yeah. And this is 5 rounds as well, which doesn't necessarily suit Ketlen Vieira. I mean, she's not had many 5 rounders aside from that win that she's coming off over Miesha Tate. I think that was her first 5 rounder. With you know, by comparison, Holly Holm is almost always 5 round fights, and she's winning decisions over 5 rounds as well. I think to beat Holly Holm, you've got to be aggressive at closing distance, and you've got to hit her and hurt her. And I think there are very, very few fighters that can do that. I mean, and Nunes being one of the few. Like, even Durandamy wasn't able to really get to her and hurt her as such. You know, she was able to manage that distance against one of the best strikers in the sport. I feel like Ketlen Vieira is going to be very, very susceptible for that side kick.
Yeah.
Side kick to the midsection, side kick to the lead leg. She's going to be frustrated. She's going to be trying to cut her off, trying to walk her down, and then Holm's going to throw that high kick, and then she's going to run that way. And then Vieira's going to circle back and try and cut her down. She's going to get hit with a side kick. Then she's going to chase her down, then get hit with a head kick. And I could see that happening.
Yeah.
And then as soon as Vieira rushes in to try and close distance, Holm's going to grab her, tie her up, turn her against the fence, and hold her there, good head position.
Yeah. And the Ketlen's a little bit reckless at times, like rushing in. I can see her even getting catching her with like a high kick, head kick or something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I do think it's Holly's fight to lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Holly by decision.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if she's able to stop her on the ground or on the feet, but I could see her completely nullifying her all the way through the fight. I really can.
Yeah, same.